The White House now has a plan. This plan that they are thinking about putting into place could potentially save the lives of 2 million people. It could also bring 2 million people here into the US. But here's the big thing. It would stop protests here in the US. It would stop the deaths in the Middle East. And it could potentially restore power that the United States once had. I'm going to break down what's going on in just a moment, but just understand that many people think that what the White House is considering is absolutely appalling. I'm going to break this down in just a moment, so make sure you stick around and watch this entire video. But all I ask is one thing, takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So what are people calling appalling? Well, it's this report right here. This is from CBS News, and it says the White House considers welcoming some Palestinians from war-torn Gaza as refugees. Okay. So how would this work? Well, we're going to discuss this in a minute, but I want to address why. There's actually a couple reasons. First one is this right here. We are seeing people at this time being arrested. Nearly 100 people were arrested at Columbia, the New York Police Department says, after clearing Hamilton Hall. This was just Columbia. We saw arrests over at UCLA. We've seen them at multiple colleges all over the U.S. We've seen them in Texas, here in Washington State. We've seen them in Boston. People have been getting arrested over the past few days because they are protesting this war between Israel and Gaza, or technically Hamas. But we learned that Secretary Blinken, he was going to head over, he was going to try to stop this before it got any bigger. It says Blinken in Israel seeks ceasefire and hostage deal to stave off Rafah move. Now, I'm not going to address what's going on there too much, but just understand that Secretary Blinken was trying to get a ceasefire put into place. Benjamin Netanyahu said no. He does not believe a ceasefire is what they need. Okay? Even Hamas has not agreed to even listen to this potential ceasefire deal. So that's what's troubling there. But it's this right here. Okay? Because right now there's so many issues because of what's going on with Israel and Hamas. Okay? This is the beginning. This is the hub of all these issues. And just think about it. Why is Iran? Why is Hezbollah? Right? The Yemen Houthis, why are they attacking people? It's because of what's going on with Hamas and Israel. The United States is obviously involved in this because we continue to fund Israel. We continue to help them. They're our closest ally in the Middle East, so obviously we'd help them, right? Well, we just sent them additional $26 billion. $26 billion in additional funding and relief. Well, that has many people very upset. But it's what is going on. How is the White House going to bring in people from the war-torn Gaza as refugees? Well, it's because of this. The White House believes, according to multiple reports that came out over the past few days, is the White House believes that if they can bring people or take people out of Gaza and simply just empty the entire city of the Palestinian people, then the only people left would be Hamas. Then Israel could do whatever they want to those people. But as long as the White House gets the Palestinian people out first, then if Israel wants to do an all-out attack and just level the entire region, they can do that. They can level the entire city. At least that's what the reports are saying. But here's the thing. Where would those people go? Would the Palestinian people be moved to a nearby, city or a nearby country? Or would they be brought into the U.S. as refugees? That's what they're considering. I want to read some of this article too. It says the Biden administration is considering bringing certain Palestinians to the U.S. as refugees, a move that would offer a permanent safe haven to some of those fleeing war-torn Gaza, according to the internal federal government documents obtained by CBS News. It says in recent weeks, the documents show Senior officials across several federal U.S. agencies have discussed the practicality of different options to resettle Palestinians from Gaza who have immediate family members who are American citizens or permanent residents. It says one of those proposals involves using the decades-old United States Refugee Admissions Program to welcome Palestinians with U.S. ties who have managed to escape Gaza and enter neighboring Egypt, according to the interagency planning documents. It says top U.S. officials have also discussed getting additional Palestinians out of Gaza and processing them as refugees if they have American relatives. It says the plans would require coordination with Egypt, which has so far refused to welcome large numbers of people from Gaza. It says those who pass a series of eligibility, medical, and security screenings would qualify to fly to the U.S. with refugee status, which offers beneficiaries permanent residency, resettlement benefits like housing assistance, and a path to American citizenship. Now, I know there's about 2 million people in the Gaza Strip. I know that not every single person in the Gaza Strip currently has a family member who is American citizen or a permanent resident. But that's where it starts. You give a little bit, and you say, okay, if you have a family member who's an American citizen or permanent resident, yes, you qualify. You would be eligible to become a refugee as long as you make it into Egypt. Okay. The concern, though, is how many people would actually go to Egypt? Is Egypt going to be able to process all these people, right? Keep them safe in the meantime? And is this going to put Egypt in jeopardy? We don't know. But the White House is considering bringing in, and again, I say this because there's 2 million Palestinian people along the Gaza Strip. But the concern here is, what if every single one of those people were to attempt to go into Egypt? And now all those people flee the area, go to Egypt, try to get refugee status here in the United States. Well, some of them are going to be turned away. Then what happens? Do they stay in Egypt? Do they move somewhere else? Do they come back? Because they can't come back. That's the biggest problem. They cannot come back to Gaza, because if the United States is to clear out all these people, guess what? Israel is going to completely bomb the area and get rid of Hamas. The concern there, though, is what if somebody within Hamas, who has Hamas ties, makes their way to Egypt, follows all these people over to Egypt, then makes their way into the U.S. as a refugee, and now the United States just allowed more Hamas militants into the U.S. How crazy is that? That is what we're considering. So I just wanted to fill you in on what this report is saying, because again, the White House believes this could be the best possible solution, especially if we can't get a ceasefire anytime soon. So I'll leave you with that. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But as of today, that is what we know. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.